Vikings deals CB Booth to Cowboys for CB Wright. The Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings agreed to a trade Friday to exchange cornerbacks whose time had run out with their respective teams. The Cowboys will receive cornerback Andrew Booth Jr., the number 42 pick of the 2022 draft, who played only 11% of the Vikings' defensive snaps over the past 2 seasons. The Vikings will take on cornerback Nahshon Wright, a third-round pick in 2021 who played in just 22 games with 3 starts and 1 interception. Wright is the 4th veteran cornerback the Vikings have acquired since the start of training camp, as they have tried to stabilize a position group that has been rocked by tragedy and injuries. Rookie Khyree Jackson was killed last month in a car crash. Potential starter Mekhi Blackmon suffered a torn ACL on the first day of camp, and veteran Shaquill Griffin hasn't practiced since straining his hamstring the next day. The Vikings have also signed veteran cornerbacks Duke Shelley, Cobi and Fabian Moreau. With Trayvon Diggs coming back from a torn ACL in his left knee, Wright was working with the first team in training camp this summer, but he was being pushed by rookie Kalen Carson, a 5th-round pick. With Diggs expected to ramp up his work in practice as the regular season approaches and Carson making the most of his chances, Wright, who is set to be an unrestricted free agent after this season, became expendable. The Cowboys thought highly of Booth during the 2022 draft process and hope a change in scenery and perhaps scheme under new coordinator Mike Zimmer, former Vikings head coach, can help his development. Booth had a long injury history during his college career at Clemson and suffered a torn meniscus during his rookie season that required surgery and limited him to 6 games. The Vikings hired defensive coordinator Brian Flores in 2023, and Booth never found a footing in his scheme. Despite the injuries and uncertainty at the position this summer, Booth was mostly practicing with the Vikings' third-team defense. Last August, the Cowboys traded disappointing 2021 second-round pick Kelvin Joseph to the Miami Dolphins for 2020 first-round pick Noah Igbinoghene. Neither player had a lasting impact, although Igbinoghene did score the Cowboys' first touchdown last season, off a blocked field goal. East Rutherford, New Jersey New York Giants backup quarterback Drew Lock is expected to miss some time with a hip pointer and strained oblique, sources told ESPN. Lock, who was signed to be the backup to Daniel Jones, is likely to miss a couple of weeks because of the injury, one source said. The Giants are expected to sign a quarterback in the interim, with Jones and Tommy DeVito as their only 2 current healthy options. The Giants signed Lock this offseason to a 1-year deal that included the full $5 million guaranteed. He went 4 of 10 passing for 17 yards with an interception before suffering the injury in his preseason debut against the Detroit Lions on Thursday. Lock was hurt when he was hit and went to the ground on a play late in the first quarter. He stayed in the game for another play before going to the ground in pain. He eventually walked off the field but remained on the sideline. "I know he was sore last night," Coach Brian Daboll said earlier Friday before meeting with the team's medical staff. He later added, "It could be longer than a couple days." Turns out it is. Now, New York has just about a month until it opens the regular season at home against the Minnesota Vikings. DeVito, who burst onto the scene last season as an undrafted rookie, becomes the backup in the meantime. DeVito had 8 of 15 passing for 92 yards and led the Giants on a pair of touchdown drives in Thursday night's 14-3 win over the Lions. He did well in presenting his case to be the team's backup, but it will be an uphill battle if Lock is healthy. "Every day is a step in the right direction," DeVito said afterward. "Try to build off it every single time I go out on the field and have the opportunity to be out on the field. Like I said, a couple of plays I've noticed for now, but I'm sure when I watch the film it's going to be a couple more things that I want to correct and get back. But continuing to try to use these next 2 upcoming games to put my best foot forward." Lock joined the Giants after 2 seasons in Seattle. He started a pair of games last year for the Seahawks, leading them to a come-from-behind win against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 15. Lock was originally a second-round pick, 42nd overall, by the Denver Broncos out of the University of Missouri. He spent 3 seasons in Denver, where he started